Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Ladybug Grace's channel. I appreciate you tuning in as we do the daily devotionals based on the One Touch Ministries. Today's lesson is brought by the letter A for Agape. I felt pressed on this one because I'm not going to get personal what exactly happened, but God knows. And I did say some things yesterday about an individual, and I had my reasons, but it still doesn't make it right. So I felt pressed to do this and share on this blessing our enemies. So before we begin our prayer, Father, as I read and receive our word, may it deeply be rooted in me, so when difficulty comes, it will be your word that encourages and strengthens me. So as always, the full video will be linked in the description to One Touch Ministries so that you can hear them talk about this, as well as listen to other videos by Charles Stanley, which I hope you're doing. Or if this is your first time, you're able to go and look at their channel. He was a wonderful preacher, and I've learned a lot from him, and I highly, highly recommend his teachings. So we're going to Luke 6:27-28. And the title of my Bible is Love Your Enemies. But if you are willing to listen, I say love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Pray for the happiness of those who curse you. Pray for those who hurt you. So their booklet, again, the first time you're going, you can get this free. It's just all you have to do is sign up for them. And they'll send this to you as an encouragement. And you can either read along with me or do it on your own then, whichever you're more comfortable with. But today's reading, in his famous Sermon on the Mount, Jesus instructs us to love our adversaries and treat them well. Both Matthew and Luke's records indicate that when Jesus said this, he used the form of a Greek word, agape, which refers to unconditional love. This love isn't a superficial affection or feeling of goodwill, and it's not based on the nature or appearance of the other person. Agape is the deepest kind of love we can display. At first, using this Greek word in regard to enemies seems counterintuitive, but actually it is the perfect solution. Agape forms through an act of our will. When we choose to love, our emotions follow the decision of our mind. For example, when we pray for our enemies, it changes our heart, not all at once, but over time. And when we ask God to help us express genuine Christ-like love towards our enemies, those requests mold us too. That's the kind of prayer God is delighted to answer. A bitter response toward an enemy will yield only negativity, but a gracious response can have profound results. God has a redemptive plan in mind for every person, and we have an opportunity to participate in that plan when we display agape, the unconditional love of the Lord. So my notes basically mimicked what we read here. Do good to those who hate you. Pray for the happiness of those who curse you. Pray for those who hurt you. Agape is unconditional love, which I had forgotten. And the one thing I wrote down, a bitter response toward an enemy begots negative emotion, which I know is very hard to do when someone hurts you. And what happened I'm referring to earlier, it didn't happen to me. It happened to a family member, and something that she's going through, and it hurts. It's bitter to see this happen to her, and then she finally got away from a situation. And I said, well, God knows what I said. And because to me it was more of, see, God has a way of dealing with things. As I even told some other family members, God has a way of dealing with problems and dealing with situations. So this individual did this for so long, and it finally caught up to him. So I don't really know if that is the negative emotion being referred to. It's just more of me being like, see, this is what you get. I turned a blind eye to it for so long. Not that I prayed for the enemy, but I was kind of just like, well, there's nothing much we can do. Just protect, and this is what it is. And eventually, justice is served. So I still feel that way. I did say some things about good. He's going to get what he deserves. I'll admit that. But at the same time, it's also a demonstration of you just have to stand back. And that's in a lot of Charles Stanley's teachings I've been listening to lately, is you can't always go in and fix it. You just have to stand back and let God do what he has to do. And that's how I see this But this made me think of that and my response to it. And I didn't bless him. I just said, this is what happens when you act up and you want to be a jerk. And this is what happens to you. Excuse me. God will eventually put the hammer down. I still believe that. But anyway, I hope you're having a great day and a blessed day. I hope August is going well for you. I hope you're able to pull something from either what I'm doing here or through his readings or through the In Touch readings I link in the description or wherever else you're going for it. So have a blessed day. Think positive thoughts. Yeah, let's be, what was that guy? Tony something for that. But yeah, a bitter response towards an enemy begots negative emotion. And that is true. So if you do say bad things, it doesn't make you feel good. And that's important to remember. You just have to step back and let God deal with it. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Tomorrow is Turn the Other Cheek, and we're still in Luke. So maybe I'll continue the series. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.